Montel Jordan, this is how we do it. So before we start, I'd like to extend our condolences and prayers to Miss Regina King and the losses she's going through. It is horrible to conceive, and I'm sure much more worse than any of us could ever fathom. So our hearts and prayers definitely go out to their family, and you just never know what people are going through. And so remember to keep her in our prayers, and make sure that you check on people who you love. So Mitch McConnell last week, in what he would term a slip, said that there's no need for the Voters' Rights Act because African Americans vote at as high a rate as Americans. Now, I think that there are times when people say things that they don't mean. I think that there are times when people misspeak. And those people should be given the benefit of the doubt. And generally, when somebody does something like that, it is because it is inconsistent with who they've been. It sounds so off, so inconsistent, you go, he can't have meant that. That is not true of Mitch McConnell. He sounds exactly like what he meant. Now, I can't tell you what was in his heart. He's an 85-year-old man from Kentucky, and I'm sure the thought of black people voting at one point in his life rankled him. I'm sure he wasn't in favor of it. And what men like that do, they don't change their stripes, they change their verbiage. They pretend to not feel things that they do. They're deaf. He's a deaf enough politician to never say these things out loud. But you cannot tell me that most of the people that are of his ilk believe exactly what he said. They don't believe that black Americans, black people are really Americans. What do you think it meant when you hear people, we want America back? This is our America. Go back to America. What do you think it meant when a large number of people of his ilk and his mindset attacked the Capitol because they thought the election was stolen from them? Because 70% of people that look like him voted one way, and the other people of other hues voted the other way. And they thought something was wrong with that. And to negate that from happening again, they have changed 300 to 400 laws all over the country to make it harder. So it was not a Freudian slip. Even his argument that he was. You look at Mitch McConnell's history and look at his words, and that will tell you everything you need to know about him. It's like in that movie, The Usual Suspects. It's always, when something looks like something, it generally is. Even his defense. Well, I support Daniel Cameron. Daniel Cameron, the black attorney general, who misled the grand jury so that they wouldn't indict the police officer who killed Breonna Taylor. That attorney general. Scott in South Carolina, who is basically a doormat for whatever they want to do. So those are the type of black people he likes, and he doesn't like them because he likes them because they're the kind of black men that all those people of that ilk like. Mitch McConnell said out loud what he thought. He said it out loud what he thought. His actions speak equally as loud. Equally as loud. Look at the things he said about Barack Obama. My job is to make him a one-term president. Look at the vitriol. Look at what he said about reparations. We already had an election, and Barack Obama got elected. You didn't vote for him. Look at what he said about anything. More importantly, even if he didn't, even if you were willing to give him the benefit of the doubt, what does he do with his actions that make you believe he believes differently? What has he ever supported that you believe makes him different than his words? Mitch McConnell meant exactly what he said. He speaks for all of those people, and they mean exactly the same thing. And either you will do what they want, or they will change the rules to make sure they always have an advantage. Mitch McConnell was absolutely right when he said that African Americans vote at a higher rate than Americans. There is a line between us and the way they see us and them. They are the real Americans. When you hear them talking about the middle of the country, that's the real America. Everybody else is just playing it. They're patriots. Everybody else is terrorists. He said what he meant. His actions have only edified his perspective. He is exactly the man you thought he was. Like I remember Dennis, the Coach Green said, remember when he was talking, they're exactly who they thought we thought they were. That is exactly who Mitch McConnell is. He is a racist white dude pretending that because he can say Dr. Martin Luther King's words that absolves him. He thinks that because he supports a black guy, Daniel Cameron, that means he's not racist. He thinks he can get away with it, and more than likely, because he's in Kentucky, he will. But Mitch McConnell meant exactly what he said. Nothing more, nothing less. Just like all the usual suspects. That's a little note from the GED section. We got a jazz report coming up in 15 minutes. It's the D.L. Hughley Show.